If there is one genre of game that I have come to love, and I know that you love, it is factory incremental puzzle games, where we are building up an infrastructure to make a maximum score in an idle game type fashion. That's exactly what we're doing here in Coin Factory today. We're going to be building a, you guessed it, coin factory made of different buildings that synergize together with different combinations with our plan of becoming the ultimate moneymaker. This was recommended to me by my good friend Orbital Potato. He told me 100% chance you're going to love this game. He's typically not wrong when he says that, so check out his video. If I remember, I'll link it in the description. Thanks to the dev for reaching out with a key. Let's play Coin Factory. There's a lot of different maps in this game, including what I think is a daily and nightly challenge, which is kind of cool. We're going to play on the standard map, which is what they kind of put you in after the tutorial. I did the tutorial beforehand. I'm not going to do the tutorial on the video here because the reality is it is exactly what I'm about to do. We have an output tile, which I'm going to put right here, and then the music flows in, and it's very nice. And then we have a factory tile, which the first one is free. And the factory tile is exactly what it sounds like. This is a production tile. And you can see that this is currently producing coins onto this little spot right here. Now we have to get those coins to our output, so we'll just draw a little conveyor belt, and we're gonna start dumping in some coins into our system here. That was the entire tutorial. So there's really not much else for us to do in this scenario. Now, it is an incremental game, so I can come in here and I can decide to upgrade my factory, okay? Here's all of the upgrades that you can get to your main factory. For 25 big ones, I've got 37 bucks. I can upgrade this to have a base production of 2, which I do think is a pretty valuable thing to do. But we can also start to get kind of interesting in the way that we manage this, because now I can put down another factory, right? And we can start to bring in even more money, and we can start to merge the money together, which I think is pretty cool. Now I can keep adding factories. There's nothing stopping me from just getting a little crazy in here. Now our output is up to 5 per second, give or take. And that allows me to start really just dumping on upgrading all of the base production of all of my factories, which is pretty cool. Now, you'll see that I have another tile here, and this is where I stopped playing, and I went, yeah, I'm gonna like this. And then I loaded up OBS, and I hit the start recording button, and I did my intro. We have another tile here that we can mess with. This is the central. So the central produces the sum of the production of every touching factory in non-diagonal tiles. So what we want to do is probably like... I wish that I could move. Okay, now he's pumping out this way. We do not want you to pump out that way. Pump back down, my guy, but now I just got like a 10 sitting right here. I think we don't care about that. I did just delete money, which seems counterproductive in the grand scheme of the game, but that's fine. If you produce the sum of every touching factory and non-adjacent tiles, let's put one of you right here. Okay, so you're now producing 2. We also have some new stuff. Transports money by jumping over a tile. Okay, that's interesting too. Let's put down another factory, and then another factory, and then we'll merge these together, okay? Because this guy is now producing 4, which seems good to me, right? Now I do have this guy just kind of out in no man's land, so immediately this seems like heck. What am I doing? We found a box in one of the old factories with the following label: the indecisive die. It's gone. Okay. We'll figure out what that means. Let's create a conveyor for now that wraps around this way. I mean, we have a 203 that's just gonna dump in here shortly. So what are our upgrades to the central right now? Produce the sum of the production of every touching Produces the sum of the production in every plus diagonals. Okay, I mean, that's obviously insane. So it's now dumping out a ton. I can put down another one here. And I'm going to tell you, I'd like to put down another factory right here. And then, I mean, just in general, that seems really nice. I'm at 22 a turn right now. We also have these ones just sitting in no man's land, but I'm less concerned about them. What if we, so the jumper transports money by jumping over a tile. I haven't figured out a good use for that yet. But what I think we would like to do is probably start to just upgrade all of our regular tiles here. Like let's get the 25 to 75 upgrade going on each of these. That increases us to 27 a second, 28 a second, 29 a second, 30 a second. Okay. And then we can maybe dump in the upgrade on this guy, get the diagonals flowing. And I mean, we're going to be cruising. This is going to be 45 a second, 48 a second that we're peaking at, which is pretty good. So what is the accelerator? Accelerator adds $1 of production every 5 cycles to the facing factory / central. Okay. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Oh, and the jumper is not a tile. Ah, okay, that's even better. So you know what? I would love for you to jump now? Is that how you work? I don't think that's how you work. Yeah, so the jumper goes on here. So okay, now I'm just jumping money onto this tile. Yeah, the jumper is very well and truly not what I want right here. What happens if I like remove this and I put down another factory here? Does he... Okay, he's going crazy. Oh, interesting. So sloth approved manufacturing. Everything is now slowed down for a little. Okay, so this is not doing what I want it to do. But I do love the idea of getting some factories going here. I think that we can just remove this jumper. He's not doing anything for me. This makes our... but now you're messed up. And you're messed up. But my central is really good. Did I clobber my production by doing this? I'm down to 32 a second, so I think the reality is that, yeah, I bodied my production. Okay, I'll remove you. You know what? You gotta figure out... Oh, wow, they kept producing, too. So now they're just crazy, and that's fine. Let's be intelligent about this. We're going to bring these conveyors around. We're gonna destroy these. And we're going to get down another factory here and another factory here. And then push you into this area. So now this guy is more beefy. And I think that the reality is we want to... dumping in an 128 right there. I think that we probably want to upgrade our central. Because multiplying total production by 2... is freaking nuts for these, man. I mean, that is extremely, extremely good. So let's wait for the 5K here. I'm gonna upgrade. That was not the one I wanted to upgrade, but he's now doing 30, which is pretty solid. Is this, you know, an adequate farm right now? Is this what we want to see? No, it's freaking horrible, okay? But what we can do is we can start to replace factories with centrals because they're just better, right? They're just better. Because you still act on... you actually just act on touching factories. Okay, so yeah, not correct. Not correct, but that's okay. I think I'm still fine with it. Upgrade this. And then I think what I would like to do is just start to upgrade all of my factories. This guy's not even up to par yet. So the more everything gets upgraded, it's an incremental game, man. The more you upgrade your stuff, the better off you're gonna be in a game like this. But I do think that I gotta get an accelerator in, like, soon. Okay, what is laggy lotion? Once again, slows everything down. Okay. I'm just curious, you know, as these pop up, I'm gonna click them, because who knows what all is there. So the accelerator adds 1 production every 5 cycles to a facing factory / central. Where am I going to want to put that? I think what I want to do, to be honest, is find a new spot to put these. So it's maybe like putting another one of you right there, another factory right here. Sure, I mean, I'm fine with this. I'm going to extend this conveyor this way. I'm going to remove this one. And then we're going to put down an accelerator right here. And that now adds more stuff. Okay. So the park, every touching factory gains 30% production. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but how do I make that... How do I make that, There's a delicate puzzle here, man, in how I place my tiles. So, like, this, I think you now want a park here. 2.5 million to improve you, huh? Okay. I mean, we're at 149, 151... Yeah, so 152-ish is what we're peaking at. Just kidding. No, it isn't. Somewhere in there it is. Did the park do much for me? So 30% more production. Somebody smarter than me will tell me whether or not that's worth it. Let's improve our centrals here, because this is really like the central multiplication is where we're going to get juiced up in here. Even the factory multiplication, we're going to get pretty juiced up from. So, I mean, we're up to 240 per ball going into the chute. This guy's not even up to his good upgrade system yet. 80,000 for the upgrade here. That's a little much. So what is overclocker? Every 5 cycles make the targeted tile run 3 cycles at once. But it doesn't affect other overclockers. So we need to... We're wasting space. Okay, a mini version of myself. Oh, everything is crazy fast now. Okay. That scared the heck out of me. We need to maximize our grid here. So to maximize our grid, I think you want to... We're going to kill, like, everything for a second. Because I think you want 1 conveyor on the outside. And then you want to implement jumps into, like, every scenario. Right? So you're going to put a jumper here. So then this... Okay. Things were in hell a little, but don't worry too much about it. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. This needs to be a jumper. That's gonna keep that flowing along. Okay. Then you remove these for right now. We want to juice this guy. He's at 93 a turn. This park has to go, okay? We put down another factory right here because that buffs... That is not buffing him in the slightest. The park was so much better. Okay. So put the park back in. That puts you back up to 93. God, there's so much to think about here. I do think that you want to try to buff accelerators. Like, this guy's at 72. which is very good. I think what I'm learning is that we can create even more juice by having factories not producing. Oh, never mind, actually. So you don't like that because they're not producing now. Okay. I would have thought that to be slightly different. Okay. I mean, we're making money. We still have, I mean, we have like 10,000 sitting in this row right here that I'm trying to figure out what to do with. What gets tricky is we have to balance the fact that we can't put stuff where stuff, there's only so many tiles we can place. That's the tricky part, okay? So like another central right here with a factory right here, we get you upgraded to there. I mean, that's dumping out 14. The reality is that's horrible, okay? But then we can remove one of these to put down a factory and put a jumper right here. The tangled thread, okay, good. Then you can put down a jumper here to go this way. No, don't jump in reverse. It's absolutely boosting up a boy, but this is fine because now, well, I can't actually do much more there now that I think about it. I can remove this and put down another factory. No, I can't because now he's blocked and can't produce, which we obviously need him to produce. Okay. So then there has to be a nice pattern that is not horrible like this, right? I mean, we're clearly designing something that is pure trash. What if I removed this factory and place a park? It's horrible. Okay, it's horrible because you well and truly need a factory in order to make that good. So we want to put down parks in basically every location. This guy is now 28.5. Every touching factory. So parks in basically every one of these areas is the dream. This factory is so absolutely worthless. But this is not the end of the world. Okay? I mean, this could be way worse. It could also be, I mean, it could be light years better. I'm not going to sit and deny that. It could be a lot better. 475 a turn. Is that the dream? It's okay. You're at 112, 113 per. Let's make that even crazier. I mean, you should get even more beefed up if all goes well. The parks, I mean, this guy has the potential. Like this is one of those. He's producing 110 because we're absolutely clobbering him with parks. So we're creating like an insane. I mean, we're actually going nuts now, which is good. I mean, that's exactly what we want. Now the overclocker. There's an interesting one. Okay, stuck in traffic, everything slows down for a little bit. Let's get these upgraded to at least the 1.5s. We don't need to go much higher than that. Okay. Take a step back, think about things. You want to get the overclocker in. And you would love to overclock the accelerator, right? Like that's kind of the dream. Also, what if we remove this park? You go down to 95. But then what if we overclock this? I mean, overclocking this guy is really crazy. But keep in mind, okay, we need to think about this still. these guys only do, they're doing the sum of the factories. So we buffed the factories. We also definitely need to buff this guy. I mean, that was the non-negotiable. And then buff him again, please. All of these guys should be like max value to get the value out of them. Overclocking this guy makes him go crazy. The overclocker must go here. That's my current line of thinking. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm stupid. But I think that that's the correct course of action. 400k to multiply your production by 5. I mean, that's so worth it. Which is the crazy part. Like, that seems so worth it to me. We don't have a lot of other, like, cheap upgrades. Like, we can do some 20Ks. They very likely help, okay? They very likely help. But I kind of just want to wait this out. It's like a minute that we have to wait to get the overclocker. And then we're going to get even more choices, which is... That's kind of where I want to be, okay? So let's get up to 150. This game has wrinkled my brain for sure, because I think it's relatively difficult, at least for me, and I'm stupid, so take that with a grain of salt. It's difficult for me to see what the optimal path is. Like, I'm sure there is an optimal path, and once you figure out the optimal path, then it like makes a lot of sense what that best play is. Adds 1 production to every factory / central every 5 cycles? Okay, yeah, I mean, you're absolutely insane. It's an absurd upgrade. I mean, that's like the dream upgrade, no? Seems very good to me. So this guy's not really doing much. I have to consider the idea, okay? I have to consider the idea of the big bomb, okay? And the big bomb is basically the concept of, if I can buff all of my other tiles, okay? Then I can make my centrals just create like insane bonuses. Like, even upgrading these to 20Ks makes this guy now produce 610 a second. Like, all of my factories are really the most important tile on our board, I think. Like, this should bump us into, yeah, I mean, we're easily 3,000 a second now, which will just continue to ramp up as time goes on. This is at 1.4k. So the accelerator is doing a number on you. I think that's about all I need to see to attempt an accelerator right here. And we'll upgrade you. This should make this guy, frankly, the same as this guy. Like, you should eventually hit a 1.4 thousand, because it's the same upgrades along the sides here. Well, but this guy's getting buffed, and he's also, yeah, I mean, this should be more than 1.5, right? Because you should be buffed. Why are you not like crazy buffed? Because you're not upgraded yet. Yeah, okay. Definitely want to upgrade you. Definitely want to upgrade you. Any of the ones that touch 3 of them need to get upgraded. We should now be easily over 4,000 a turn. Once these make it over, so we're into 4,000, 4.3, 4.4. Okay, that's good. Next up is 9 million for that one. That's gonna take a little bit for us to reach that point, I'd say. But that's fine. That's fine. It's good. It's very good. I think you need another central right here, with another factory pointing in this way and another factory pointing in this way. I'd like to then upgrade you to a high degree and then upgrade you to a high degree. just gonna add basically like another 600 or so to our camp here, which I think is lovely. Parks are still 2.5 milli in order to make those the most functional they can be. This is like far and away our worst central, which makes me feel like that I should straight up remove it. Like we can do better than this central. So let's remove it, okay? Let's remove it. We're at 8,000 a turn, which is nice. What if we bring in another overclocker to overclock my accelerator? Okay? Is this a stupid play? Because I think that this is kind of a brilliant play. So the overclocker every 5 cycles makes the target tile run 3 cycles at once, which is going to add $3 of production to this. Something like that. Maybe this isn't doing anything and I'm just an idiot, but this feels kind of smart to me. 5,000 a turn. 12 milli is simply too much. The other idea is you actually just put down a regular factory here. I know we spent a lot of money on this, but a regular factory buffs both of these guys, and it gets affected by another park. So, sure, let's do that. And then at that point, I mean, this should definitely just be a park. This should definitely just be a park. There's no reason not to. This can get upgraded to the gills, more or less. You're now 1.2, you're 1.9. It's pretty good. But then at that point, accelerate. Let's just overclock and accelerate the hell out of this thing. And I'm just gonna crank it. 200 million is too much. But now this singular tile is 506, which makes this 3,500. Okay. I think that's not horrible for me, for sure. Now, we can get even better here. Because we can produce a jumper here, rip out a guy here, and then put in a jumper here, rip out a guy here, and then put in a jumper here, and rip out a guy here. And now we're just like dunking coins into the output, which is kind of cool too. So then you can put in a factory right there, you can put in a factory right there, you can put in a factory right here. Buff all of them. I don't think that the value this adds is that high, to be honest with you. But it is min-maxing our land a little bit in order to generate the most profit we can. Like, this is pretty compact, if I'm honest with you. I feel kind of okay about it. The whole board is filled. Whether or not it's filled correctly, I'll let you be the judge of that. But it feels pretty good. Obviously, the investor it's just like permanent good. And I'll probably slip him in like down here, because this guy's not doing a lot. I think you want to get an investor in ASAP, because that's what's gonna make this truly incremental idly, because I can just leave and the investor is going to continue to make me money over and over and over and over and over, which is sick. I mean, we're up to 13 to 17,000 a turn. How that number is different and fluctuating by 4,000, I don't have a lot of answers for. But now the investor goes crazy. 5 million to upgrade him. I mean, he actually, frickin' hell, man, he's insane. That is so good. Okay, and then the box, which is 10 trillion. Send the box to the next player and end the game. So I have not played effectively. I'm gonna tell you. I should have probably gotten an investor way earlier than this. But I'm having fun. So I think that's part of the good vibes aplenty here. Let's try to get some more of our factories into the 400k camp. I'm gonna try to surround this guy who alone is producing 11,000 a turn right now. I mean, we're producing 30,000 a turn, so like a third of our money is from this central, which is crazy. And it makes you feel like there's probably an approach that we could take where, I mean, even here, man, it makes you wonder if we should be rethinking our life choices in order to buff like a singular one. It's like I can't tell whether the parks are doing enough for me. They probably are, right? They probably are. Like this park right here getting an upgrade to have everything gain another 20% production. It's not good enough. It's not good enough at all. What am I talking about? I don't think that's good enough in the slightest. But what is going to be good enough is ripping out this park in order to add another investor. Right? And then everything is going to get a little bit nicer over time. This is up to 17,000 and rising. The investors are doing their thing. Overclocker upgrade is 12 million. This guy is you might as well do that upgrade, get them to max. Anything that is in the 400,000 range, we should be sending upgrades on. We make that almost instantly. It's like 8 seconds for us to make 400,000. If only this was real life, probably wouldn't be here making this video right now. So maybe we don't want that to be real life. Let's get a nice 400 there. This guy I'm like really less concerned about, but he is getting hit by the 2. You know what? I'm gonna upgrade the jumper. Okay, we're gonna add in another park. Oh, that's not how that works. How do I want to handle that, actually? I guess I'd have to build this a little differently. Okay. Yeah, there's not a great way for me to change that up. Okay, that's fine. I'm not gonna sweat that a whole lot. Let's increase. I mean, 2 million is obviously in our range. 200 million is not in our range, bro. I mean, that is, we're nowhere near getting 200 million. So the 2.5 milli, I can mess around with upgrading our parks for 2.5 milli. Not sure it's gonna do like a ton for me, but it's okay. I do think that a 9 milli upgrade on our centrals, this guy's producing 46,000 a turn. And then it's gonna multiply the production by 10 after this. I mean, this is gonna make 400,000 a turn. You have to think that that's probably just the right upgrade for us. But I'm gonna tell you that the investors are cheaper and is maybe more worth it. Because now every 3 cycles, it's adding $2 of production to everything. That's just gonna ramp up, man. That's just gonna continue to ramp up and go kind of crazy. Is it the most effective system? No, by no means am I saying that it's an effective system, but I think what you want to do is create a system that obviously uses the least conveyor belts. I think that's the easy peasy solution. But then the harder part is, how do you maximize like more than one central? if you can maximize more than one central, then maybe you can make something happen. But it's like hard, you know, because you then have to figure out, well, the centrals need factories. How do I buff the factories to become absolutely insane? And I just don't know what the answer to that is. I do know that this is now making 180,000+ a second. So I'm up to 300,000 a second, which then basically just means I'm going to buff all of my parks because I make that money in mere moments. This is up to 4,000. You're at 48,000, which this is 12,000. I mean, this 12,000 is what's making you 239,000. That's absolutely, that is clinical, man. But I'll upgrade this guy. He's now 130,000, which is obviously quite good. This is 12 million for this upgrade. I mean, I do think that that's probably worth it too. Some of these other 9 millions are obviously things we want to do. The 5 million for the investor is a pretty valuable one. I'm gonna wait for the 12 mil on this overclocker. I haven't figured out what the best approach for the overclocker is quite yet. But if that can make this guy make like way more, I'm not gonna be the one to complain about it. I mean, this is 299,000, 300,000. Continuing to rise. 1.6 billion in order to make your production sums the production of all factory tiles. Okay. That's crazy, but I mean we're like far away from being able to afford 1.6 billion. Like, we're not even at 1 million a second. And there's a lot of millions that go into 1 billion. I'm not sure if you realize that. So we'll increase the parks for right now, because that is going to provide us a small help. I'd love to get to 1 million a second. Like that will be a nice bonus for us. This guy is now 500,000 a second. It does make me wonder if I should be creating, like, removing this to put in you, removing this, you go this way, you overclock this. Okay. I still don't know what the value of me adding those does. We're gonna increase you, and in turn, this guy is now like very stuck. I'm realizing that. But in turn, we buff both of these guys like a lot higher, I think. We also have just a 2 million tile sitting over on that wing. Has that just been collecting this whole time? That's my bad. Okay, we're over 1 million a turn, which is kind of cool. I do think that we probably want to increase these guys. The more you increase your investors, the more they're just going to continue to build for you. And then at that point, it's like, well, this guy producing 4,000 a turn is probably not doing enough for me. So I throw down another investor, and we continue to let everything else make its own money. And then when you sit down and you really take a look at that, you go, you know what, Tyler, maybe another investor would be intelligent. This one at 12,000 is still pretty good. It's still pretty good. I mean, you should get your 9 milli upgrade. You should get your 9 milli upgrade. This guy's now 282. I mean, all of our centrals are nice. Like, they're good. 300 billion for the investors is a little much. I'm just gonna be the guy to say it. We're at 2 million a turn, okay? Roughly 2 million a turn. How long does that take us to get to 1 billion? At 2 million a turn, so that's a billion divided by a million is a lot, and then you throw in the 2 in there. We're still like a lot of time. It's just a lot of time away from anything else. Okay. Well, I mean, what are you gonna do, right? What are you gonna do? How do we maximize this further? I just like I don't have ideas for maximizing. You can turn this into a jumper. Okay. And then you jump it. Why won't you jump in the direction that I want you to? Those are just jumping back and forth, bro. That's not what I want. I'm sure that there is some like crazy jumper approach that you can take in order to make things. This is producing 1.2 mil a turn by itself right now, which is crazy. We can afford a 200 mil upgrade. I think that it's probably worth it, right? This is now producing 500,000. A factory producing 500,000. This is producing 6.5 million a turn. We're up to 15 million a turn, man. Okay. 200 mil is nothing. We can crank 200 mil to the moon. Send another one here. This is now 10 million. This is 4.5 million. We're going to do another 200 million right here in mere moments. So 162, 176, 190, 200. This is now 13 million. I mean, we love that for us. This guy is 3 million. And he's my, like, little stupid head over here. So that's cool. 23 million a turn. I'm going to tell you, you will be at 1.6 billion before you know it. I mean, this will be an astronomical amount of money if we can get this to the 1.6 billion upgrade. It's only going to be like a minute or two away that we can make that happen. But I kind of want to continue to dump the 200 million upgrades in because it's just going to make this guy more absurd. 300 billion's a little much on the investors for me. I'm not sure that that's worth it in my house right now. But like this guy I'd be happy to upgrade. This guy I'd be happy to upgrade. It's just going to make both of them. I mean, 31 million a turn. It's hard to be mad. Your 1.6 billion occurs momentarily, and you're about to see money that you've never dreamed of. Okay? You're about to see numbers that are out of this world. Send it immediately. Go. This is now producing 41 million a turn. Okay? And rising, for the record. And then rising at like an even faster rate than some other stuff. Right? Because it's... But let's actually, we can put in another. So remove you, we put a jumper here now. Ah, but you're still stuck there. Not if I point you this way and then jump you to there. Have I cracked the cheat code to success here? Then you put this down, you put another factory right here. Send it to the moon. Did I just make that my most max factory? No, not quite. Okay, all of the 200 mil factories upgrades need to go in immediately. Because now we're making almost 100 mil a turn. So billions, we don't work in billions anymore. or millions. We work in billions. This guy, he's technically not producing anything, I don't think, so it's like less of a concern to worry about him. But 1.6 billion, that's nothing. That's nothing. So you're at 74 million a turn. You're at 75 million a turn. You're actually both the same, which makes logical sense because they're doing, they're hitting the same things, right? All of our factories are equivalent at that point. The only issue that we now have is like, how do we max out from here, right? Like how do you make anything better at this point? You can min-max this tile, maybe add another investor to just continue to buff everything. I feel like there's still mild inefficiencies in this area. Like this should really still be a jumper, man. I don't know why he refuses. There we go. He's jumping that way now. Let's put down another factory right here. 20 billion is fair game on these now? Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, it has to be this guy. The 1.1 million is our best factory. So you get upgraded. Base production gets doubled, so you theoretically go to 2 million, and then it gets multiplied by another 100. So 2.3 million a turn. That makes this guy 114 million. And then obviously rising, like the investors just continue to make all of this better. So all four of them are 118. So that's $500 million a turn right now, which is good. But I'm gonna tell you, it's not good enough. we're talking 10 trillion, man. Do you realize how crazy 10 trillion is? Like that is a absurd number. I feel like that the only way that this gets better is we have to keep overclocking the crap out of this guy. Right? Or is it like a combination of accelerators and overclockers? Like I'm still, my brain can't process what the best production here is. Cause like the accelerator's good, but is it doing enough? You know, it's adding 1 to it. Do we care about adding 1 to it anymore? Like every round it adds a singular 1. I'm not dealing in 1s anymore. So instead, I'm going all in on the idea of let's just overclock things. And at that point, overclock this guy to make him produce even nuttier stuff. Like, and then screw this, I'm gonna overclock it. So we're now over $1 billion a turn. Like, the billions are flowing in pretty well. Is the overclock right here? Is this the correct move? I think it's the correct move. Like, who cares? Like, my investors are doing the accelerator. Like, the investors are just a better accelerator. There was no reason for us to ever bother. Okay? I think that's the correct decision. Let's make all of these 20 bill go up. Because at this point, 20 billion That's child's play, right? 20 billion's nothing. We get that after about 10 seconds. So give it a small wait. Send it. And that's just going to continue. These are now at 200 million a turn. And it really doesn't matter which ones we upgrade either, because all of these hit all of them. So then, like, that makes me want to change my line of thinking even more, because at this point you just add more centrals, man. If I can fully max out a central, then who cares what else is going on? Like another factory, like just add in a central over here, max his ass out. They all dipped by like 100 million. Maybe they all dipped by too much on that one. Is that good? I don't know if that's good or not. I think it's fine. I mean, 3 million or 3 billion a turn, more or less. I mean, bro, you're still like I'm 20 minutes away from getting the box. We're the scale here it's too high still. It's too high. Obviously, like the next investor upgrade is really good. Is like really good. We do have some like 7 billions rolling in every once in a while, which is kind of cool. Maybe the investor adding 1% production. So 1% of 269 million is like 10 million, man. Right? Like that's no, not quite. 1% of 275 million is more than a million. Yeah, you just upgrade it, okay? So now every second he adds another 3 million to him. And it's just gonna keep going. And in turn, all of these guys, yeah, I mean all of them are gonna keep on going. Yeah. I mean we max out the investors and you hope for the best. And you probably try to add more investors. The problem is that like the parks are still valuable. It's like your production over here. If I add in another one of you, you still produce. Like, is it more valuable to do this to make these continue to rise? I mean, it's rising like 5 million a second. I feel like this video is going to infuriate like half of America. Because I'm really not sure that I've played this. Well, I know I haven't played it correctly, but I'm there's a chance I'm not even close. Which makes it even worse. It's like removing a factory at that point. I mean, bro, okay, hold on. If this is adding 1% every second, factories are irrelevant. They don't do anything. Like, am I crazy now? Like, there's not even a reason to have factories. Cause these are just still the 1%. It's. I mean, it's just exponential, man. It's exponential. So it's just gonna continue to go even crazier. So if you can continue to max out these, it's going to. These are just gonna rise. I mean, we're at 1.3 billion each, and then I mean you can remove more of these, max them out, and they're going to be at 1.7 billion. Like there's no reason not to just replace every single factory with a central at this point. Like all of them being at 2 billion beats the living bejesus out of everything else. And then at that point, parks are irrelevant, so just give me more investors. And we'll just max out every investor, because now I'm making 300 billion every, like, second. Okay. This is what I should have done a very long time ago. Because the centrals reach a point that they just don't... They just don't matter. Because the investors have now invested so much into them. So remove every factory, and then replace every factory with an investor. You're at 2 trillion. Yeah. Did not play this smart. Did not play this smart in the slightest. But obviously this is pretty good. And you can just watch as we're now making 70, 90 billion every second. And that 10 trillion is going to be extraordinarily easy to get, and I'll just replace this overclocker and place down the box. Look. I get it. I did not play well, okay? I'm in the crap zone here. But I'm pleased with myself, okay? For first time playing, it took a sec to understand the game. We could crush that score again if we wanted to. The tiny map is very interesting to me, and some of these other maps. So like this is really cool, right? So it looks like so like production is ×2 on this tile. So you can play around some of these other ideas. I think it's a fascinating little game, to be honest with you. And I think there's more tiles and stuff depending on some of the maps as well. So I'm interested to see what all there is to see in the game. But Coin Factory, check it out, it's $5 on Steam. So definitely well worth a look at this one. Fun little game, fun little design. I like it a lot. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.